Welcome back. I'm Dorothy. I'm a professional astrologer, and you can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com, and there you can read this new moon forecast. You can also see where I will be teaching classes. We have some upcoming eclipses that are very powerful. I'm going to talk about that. I have 3 classes scheduled already in New England. There's one in Eliot, Maine, Andover, Massachusetts, and Concord, New Hampshire. I'm also going to be doing one online, hopefully. Actually, I plan on it. It'll be right after this new moon in Aries, so please go to my website, nhastrologer.com, and if you want to join us for that eclipse talk, please do so. So today I will talk about the new moon in Aries coming up on April 10th, depending on when you read it, if it's coming up or not, of course. April 10th, 5:35 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. So the things that we focus on and what we really want to look at with this Aries new moon is new beginnings. It's about a self-focus, focusing back in on what it is that we need. It's being authentic. It's being true to yourself. So self-discovery, independence, and courage. Taking action. Now there's a lot of that going on because besides having the new moon at 20 degrees of Aries, Mars is right there at 20 degrees of Aries as well, and Mars owns the sign of Aries. So we have a lot of action going on wherever there's 20 degrees of Aries and a few degrees on either side, wherever that is in your own chart. All right, so that's going to give you a little more information. I can't talk about that here though because I don't have your chart. All right, so let me get started on some of the things that we can focus on with that Aries energy. So one of the things I'd like to add to this too, actually Venus is part of this cluster as well. We have Venus, the feminine, Mars, the masculine, the sun, which is our ego, and the moon, which is our emotions. So we have all of these 4 things highlighted by this new moon. But I want you to focus, if you're listening to this before April 10th, before the new moon, focus in on releasing. All right, I know this is a new moon forecast and it's about planting new seeds, but up until April 10th, 5:35 a.m. Eastern Time Zone, we are at the balsamic phase of the moon, or the final, or at least part of a waning phase, depending on when you see this. So release, release, release. So think of it as planting a new garden. Before you start for the season, you have to till the soil, and not just weed, but you actually have to till it. So use the time before April 10th to really till your life, to take things and just turn it over and to really look at what's under the surface. Pull out the weeds, pull out the old roots of the dead things that don't belong there but are still present, and then we tend to react to. And we do react to things because even though it's not the new moon till April 10th, we still have the sun in the sign of Aries. And so there's still a lot of action that we can take as the moon is waning, okay? So remove these things that don't belong. We have to remove the stuff out of our lives, out of the garden, so to speak, out of the soil before we can plant new seeds. All right, so do that for yourself. That would be a really good step to take. All right, so what do we plant with the new moon? New moon in Aries is all about, like I mentioned earlier, new beginnings. So the new moon is about new beginnings. Aries is about new beginnings. We got a double whammy here. What an opportunity. There's high energy. All we feel like doing is initiating new processes, new projects, being innovative and taking new approaches, blazing new trails, just really, just getting a whole fresh new slate, so to speak. So use that for your own advantage. The main thing to do, so you're not quite so it's not too rough on other people around you, make sure you're just being authentic to yourself. All right, that's super important with all of this Aries energy that's present. Be authentic to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Fine, be independent, be courageous, start new things, but be self-authentic. We call it so centered on the self, not self-centered, okay? So there's a difference. Centered on the self is what we're looking at with Aries. So here's a couple ideas. I easily find myself being more honest about who I am within my relationship. Why not? We need to talk about relationships. Venus is involved, okay? So Fill in the blank if that's important to you. I easily find myself saying the right things that reflect my true self. Mercury's really close to this new moon as well. Communication will be important. All right, taking risks and competition. Be careful with the risks. Take risks anyways, because this is when we gain a lot of speed. We have coming up on April 25th, the first of 3 eclipses in a row. We have 5 for the whole year. April 25th, May 9th, May 25th is the cluster that's coming up. This energy of the new moon in Aries is critical, so we can set into place what is important for us. Again, centered on the self. So make sure you set yourself some goals. So come and find me on the web, nhastrologer.com. And you can check into the other classes that I teach in the local area. And then you can also find me on Facebook, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. Thank you for joining me today. And if I can be of any service to you, I do sessions over the phone at any time. So thank you very much. And blessed be. Namaste.